Now, according to my analytics, it seems like you guys like watching videos on bootleg figurines. So today we're going to be taking a look at this Bandai bootleg of Deadpool. Okay, so here we are, the Bandai bootleg version of Deadpool from Deadpool 2. The box is a little bit battered and bumped, and you know, it's not in the best of shape, so I can't actually stand it up, so I'll have to hold it into position here. As you can see straight off, the artwork on the front, the printing is very poor, a telltale sign that you've got a bootleg. But yeah, all I'm bothered about really is what is inside. And as you can see on this side, it's got these stickers over the top here from the factory. Yeah, it's come in very, very poor shape. But as long as the inside is okay, the figure inside, as long as that's in good condition, I'm not really too fussed about the box. And here he is. Okay, so as you can see, this figure comes with so many accessories. One of the main reasons I bought this was because I wanted this little smoke effect that's coming out of the pistol, because I have a Harley Quinn statue and she also had one of these smoke effects coming out of her pistol and it broke off when I was moving house. So I'm hoping to recycle one of these smoke effects and put it onto the Harley Quinn figure. We'll see how that goes a little later on. Okay, so here we have a closer up look at these weapons that come in this pack, and they are all very, very impressive and really well painted actually. I'm quite impressed with these, if you can just make them out there. They're really nice, and I like these blast effects that you get here. Like I said, even if the figure wasn't a good bootleg, the accessories that come with it are well worth the money. This cost me, I think it was around £10 or £9, I can't remember exactly, but it wasn't far off a tenner. And these are really well detailed, and like I said, these would be perfect if you have an action figure that really needs some guns. And like I said, I need this smoke effect here on this gun to attach to a Harley Quinn statue that I have where this smoke effect broke off. This thing comes with so many different accessories. These are little interchangeable eye sockets that you can change on Deadpool's head to give him different expressions. We also get a tiny little blade. We get the collar that you saw in Deadpool 2 that, you know, stops his powers. The paint work on this is, I don't know, it's subpar. It's fine, I'm not going to be using it anyway. And then we get Deadpool swords. Now inside here you don't get the full swords, you just get the hilt. You get the top of the sword that you can clip on. Maybe you can insert his actual swords, we'll have a look at that in a moment. Okay, so here is one of Deadpool's little swords, and as you can see, it's got a bit of blood around the hilt here, which is very nice. The paintwork isn't that bad actually, it's quite nicely done for a bootleg. And let's just see whether it actually fits into this. No, it doesn't. So I presume that when he's actually holding these in his hands, you would just take off the top to make it look like he's just took them out of his sheath. And we also get quite a lot of interchangeable hands, which will, you know, bring Deadpool alive when you're posing him, putting him in different poses, giving him different gestures to make. This is really cool to have all these. I'm not 100% sure what this is in the bottom corner here. I've had a look at it, I can't figure out what it is. If you know, just leave a comment in the comment section and let me know. Okay, so we'll just borrow this stand from Superman here, and this should be more than sufficient. And then let's get Deadpool on this stand and get him into some cool poses and see whether he is actually worth £10 of your hard-earned cash. Okay, so first off, this figure isn't great, to be totally honest. I mean, when you look at it from afar, it looks okay. But when you get a little bit closer, you can see that these joints are a little bit unsightly. Around the arms and around the waist here especially. And the plastic is moulded very roughly, especially around his backside area. As you can see, the plastic is a little bit worse for worse. But from afar, it's not too bad. The other thing is, I'm finding it near enough impossible to pose him, to stand him up, that is. He will not stand on his own. And when he does, he basically falls over more or less straight away. So you're going to need a stand for this guy. You're not going to be able to pose him on his own. You're going to need a stand. That's a little bit of a disappointment. The other thing as well, and this is a big thing for me, the holsters that attach to his hip are of the same mould, meaning that this holster is exactly the same as that holster. So when you put his gun in here, it's facing the wrong way. And I believe that this is an issue with all of these bootleg figures that are sent out. They all have the same molded holster, which is a pain. But maybe if you pose him on an angle, you won't see the holster, and maybe you can get away with it that way, always having this gun in his hand or both guns in his hand. I think the main selling point with this guy, if you're going to take the plunge and buy this, is the accessories. You get so many accessories in this box, and they will come in handy for using on different figurines. You know, a lot of figures now, especially McFarlane, they don't really come with guns. So maybe you've got a figure that desperately needs a gun. This could be your answer. And they've got some cool swords in there as well. Other than that, am I being a little bit too harsh on the figure? Maybe just a little bit, considering it's a bootleg. You know, you've got to keep that in mind. And from a distance, it will probably look okay on your shelf. But there's just too many negatives for me to be happy with about this. It's just, it doesn't look great. It feels a bit tacky. The holster problem is a big problem for me. And the joints just look absolutely horrendous. But for a £10 bootleg figure, I suppose you could say it's not too bad. But yeah, I will probably say I can't recommend this one. I'll probably give it a thumbs down. But if you want to spend £10 instead of, what, maybe an £80 price point, yeah, it's not too bad. I'm really torn on this. I'm torn on it. Let's get into some poses and let's see if we change our mind. Okay, so what do you think of this pose? Does that change your mind? Does that make you feel a little bit better about this figure? I don't think it's too bad, actually. I've changed my view on it a little bit. The holster thing is still a bit of an issue for me, how it's facing the wrong way. But when you've got him in a cool pose like this, he doesn't look too bad, actually. And I think he would look quite nice on the shelf. From afar, definitely from afar. But he's not too bad overall. Let's get him in another pose. And here we have him in an action pose, and he doesn't look too bad. You know, the joints are being hidden a little bit by the posing. One thing I've just noticed is there on the shoulder, you can see the crack in the plastic. It is definitely a shoddy bootleg. It really is. And the neck joint, I'm not 100% pleased with. But once you've got him in a pose, from a distance, he doesn't look too bad. You've got to agree. But it isn't a flawless bootleg like some are. But this one, I'd say it's acceptable. Okay, so I've just got him into this pose, holding his swords, and he doesn't look too bad. I will say I had a bit of a hard time getting the swords into the hands. They really didn't want to go in there. But eventually they went in. I felt like I was going to break them at one point, but I didn't. So it's all good there, I suppose. Like I said, I just think it looks ugly. The joints just look ugly. You've got to get it in a pose where you can't see those ugly joints. Another thing I'll say, when I was trying to get the swords into his hand, this little piece of plastic fell off, and I'm not sure where it came from, but it fell off the figure from somewhere, and that is not a good thing. It looks okay, especially in the right pose. The fact that it doesn't stand up on his own is a big issue for me. Because I don't have a lot of spare stands, so that means I'm going to have to invest in one if I'm bothered, you know, if I want to invest in one for this figure. I think the biggest draw to this figure is the accessories, and that is one of the reasons I bought this, because I actually need this smoke effect. So yeah, I've got this Harley Quinn statue here, absolutely love it, but the smoke effect broke off the gun when I moved house. So one of the reasons I bought this Deadpool figure is because this pistol has the smoke effect, and I thought I could break it off the gun and just attach it onto the Harley Quinn figurine there, and I think it would look quite perfect if it was just like that, just coming out of the gun. And that's what I'll probably do. I'll just kind of twist this off here, and I will apply a bit of super glue and just attach it to the Harley Quinn figurine there, so I've got the smoke effect again. That is one of the reasons I got this. So for that reason, good purchase. Quality of figure, not great, but for £10, not bad either. If you're looking for a Deadpool figure that is dirt cheap, this one is a good choice. But if you're willing to pay a little bit more, I would definitely advise that you go for the Marvel Legends. That is miles better than this one in many different ways. it's just out of this world, that figure. It looks amazing. I haven't got it yet, but I know someone who has, and it looks absolutely amazing. This one, I would probably say keep away from it if you're willing to spend maybe £10 or £15 more. Go for the Marvel Legends one before it goes up in price, because it will, because this new movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, is absolutely amazing. And this guy is actually from Deadpool 2. You know, I'd definitely go for the Marvel Legends over this any day of the week. But for £10, it's not bad.